how to go from this to this. Recently at a clinic, I had a horse with chronically pinned ears. Like this horse really pinned her ears, and she went from the ear pinning you see here to the pleasant ear forward that you see here. And I want to talk about how I went about doing it. So I feel like problems are easy to solve. And you might think, oh, I've got a horse problem that's hard to solve. No, the hard part is figuring out what the problem is, how to resolve it. The doing's the easy part. And so first of all, you have to be curious and not judgmental. So when this lady at the clinic said my horse is chronically pins her ears, I didn't go, well, we're gonna, make her respect us or whatever. I said, okay, well, let's just see it. And so she got on and she asked the horse to trot, and the horse trotted off with her ears pinned, trotted off with a lot of kind of rushy energy with her ears pinned. And right, and I had to trot around for a bit, and I said, okay, good, stop there. Okay, I know what we're going to do. We're not going to do anything. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, she trotted off. Normally, if a horse has pinned ears, a lot of times they're grumpy about going forward. I said she had plenty of forward. It was kind of rushy. But I said the other thing was her ears weren't constantly pinned. She trotted off and one ear flicked forward and then it went away. And so I said, what we're going to do here is we're going to do absolutely nothing. You're going to leave her alone. Don't try to fix anything. And so I said, go ahead and ask her to trot again. And for the most part, when you ask this mare to trot, she just kind of skips the trot and rushes off into this rushy canter with her ears pinned. And I said, all I want you to do is just sit there and relax. And this mare kind of rushed off and she ran around all out of balance, just scrambly all over the place. But eventually she came to a walk, and I said, good, just let her walk around or let her sit. I forget if we walked or sat there. Did that for quite a while. There were two horses in the arena, so then I worked with the other one for a while, then I had the other one stand still, and I went back to this one, and I said, go ahead and do it again. And the more that we did it and the more that we left her alone, the more we noticed her ears started getting better, and she got a little less rushy. And the whole process probably, we probably rode her for maybe an hour or so, but half that time was spent sitting around doing nothing. But anyway, every once in a while I will have a horse at a clinic to where the thing that resolves the big problem is doing absolutely nothing. And it doesn't happen very often, but this was one of those ones. And you have to remember that doing nothing is an action. Doing nothing is a choice. And with this horse, I think she'd had a lot of corrections. So the whole time she's being ridden around, someone's asking her to do something. Don't do that, stop, all that sort of thing. And all we did was just leave her alone. And the more we left her alone, the less rushy she got, the more cadence she got. Her canter slowed down, was more cadenced. Her ears got so much better. And so I wanted to share this with you guys just because, not everything needs to be corrected. And I feel like with this horse, the corrections for what people thought was going on was actually what caused the problem. So once again, think about that. Doing nothing is an action.